Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike with Alpha Reptile, and I'm back today on the 7th day of Jam-Packed July to bring you the first edition of Herp Highlight Saturday. So basically what that means is that every Saturday I'm going to be going into detail about some of the history of the different animals that I own, general care for them, so this is going to be kind of suited as like a care sheet, as well as a history with me, so how I got the animal, how long I've had the animal, all those kind of details. That is what this is for. Now this is my first time trying this style of video, so for those of you that make it to the end of the video, please remember to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like so much about it, what you think I could change. I'm totally open to constructive criticism, but if it's just like, you're fat, thanks. With that being said, before I get this video started, I will let you guys know that I'm also posting every single day on Instagram, and through that to Facebook as well. So if you guys are interested in following any of those, the links will be down in the description for you guys. Now with that being said, I hope you guys can enjoy the rest of the video, and why don't we get started? Now being that this is our first episode, I figured it only made sense to make a video about Striker. Now if you don't know who Striker is, I mean, where have you been? But obviously there is going to be some new people to the channel, so I did want to mention that he is a high yellow leopard gecko, or Eublepharis macularis. You can see on screen here that the scientific and common name. I've had him since I was 8 years old, so that makes him 13, and he's been crazy. I actually got him as a Christmas present from my birth mom, who actually used to work at a reptile importer here in Calgary. For those of you guys that know Calgary importers, Aquatic Imports is actually where she worked. The road to getting Striker was one that took several years. My parents were not really convinced that I could handle the responsibility of owning a reptile or really taking care of a living animal at the age of 8, and so I basically had to prove to them otherwise. Now the convincing process took a while. Basically it took hours and hours and almost 2 full years from me coming up with the idea that I wanted a reptile to me actually getting the reptile. In that time, I spent countless hours researching, reading all the books that I possibly could, typing on the interwebs and trying to learn of what I could to take care of a leopard gecko. It even went as far as going to a talk at the zoo to kind of give general tips and information about keeping reptiles as pets. But I would certainly say that the work was worth the reward, as it yielded Striker in return. I ended up getting him just before Christmas time. I believe it was December 23rd, 2005, from my birth mom. And again, I'll say it in this video, if you guys don't know, I am adopted. If you want to see a video, maybe with my birth mom, if she's interested in doing so, about maybe what she thinks about my reptiles and what she thinks about, you know, how her first kid turned out in general, let me know in the comment section down below as well. That's enough about that sidetrack, and enough about how I got Striker and how he ended up in my room. What I want to talk about now is leopard gecko care and some natural history of the beautiful leopard gecko. Leopard geckos are found all across Pakistan, from sub-Himalayan foothills to plateaus that reach up to 2,500 meters above sea level. Across most of their range, they live in regions that have many caves and rock faces with tons of crevices in them, and they exist on a mixed gravel and stony substrate, as well as some sand. So all those people saying that loose substrate is not natural for them and pure sand is bad for them, while the sand argument does have some validity, the loose substrate to me does not make sense. Impaction typically doesn't happen in the wild, and it is more of a man-made issue rather than a wild concern. A common misconception about leopard geckos is that they do not require any UVB, and as a couple of different studies that I read showed, they actually exit their caves and crevasses and resting areas early before the sun has totally set, so they will be getting, while a reduced amount of UVB radiation, they will still be getting a low amount of UVB radiation. Them being out during dawn and dusk also makes them a crepuscular species. They are nocturnal as well. They will be out into the nighttime. However, most of their foraging and activity time occurs during the sunset and the sunrise hours of the morning and night. Something that I found extremely interesting was the polar opposites of temperature and humidity. In some of the warmer parts of Pakistan that they are found, summertime highs can get up to 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. Just keep in mind that in their crevasses and in their little resting areas, it is not nearly that high. But outdoors, it is cooking. And with that high of temperatures, the humidity is only about 20 to 30%. In contrast, the monsoon season has temperatures that are extremely low compared to the summertime, with temperatures ranging from 28 to 32 degrees Celsius and humidity of an average of 70 to 80%. That level of humidity is pretty wild for a more arid type species. It was noted in the study that their humidity in their resting areas throughout the entire year, whether it's 20% outside or 80% outside, their resting areas remain between 40 and 50% humidity. So with that being said, it kind of makes you wonder, maybe they're not so arid after all, and those humid hides that we're giving them maybe are more average to be their full enclosure rather than just a certain area. While those crazy temperatures range outside in the day heat and sun, their basking temperatures will typically range between 28 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is 82 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, with an ambient temperature of pretty much room temperature, 22 degrees Celsius, or about 75, 76 degrees Fahrenheit. This high of 30 degrees Celsius can be achieved by using a heat pad with a thermostat. Make sure that you are using a thermostat just to be safe and prevent any burning, because we want to make sure that our animals are all safe. While I'm talking about the temperatures and humidity, I also wanted to mention lighting. It is a common misconception that crepuscular or nocturnal species do not receive any UVB radiation in the wild, and that could not be further from the truth. They have very specialized skin cells which allow them to just have a portion of their body out in UVB exposure and be able to synthesize the D3 required for their whole entire body. So while it is not all that common in the hobby right now to provide UVB for your nocturnal and crepuscular species, I strongly recommend against that common practice and provide UVB for your animal. You want to make sure it is the right amount. I will be using the Arcadia Shade Dweller UVB in Striker's tank. It has not arrived yet, so I can't say that like I strongly recommend it and you guys all need to buy it. But at very least, I would use a 5.0 UVB T5 high output bulb. You can buy them from ZoomEd or Arcadia. Both are great bulbs. Moving away from the temperatures and humidity, we can talk about substrate. This is something that you can rant till you're blue in the face about, and still not everybody's going to agree on it. So I'm just going to tell you what I do and some of the other things that other people do, and you can decide for yourself what best suits your needs. Now, as you can see in my tank, I have loose substrate. That is something that many pet stores and whatnot will convince you is either A, terrible, or B, they'll sell you the wrong stuff. In situation A, no loose substrate is what you'll be told, and they'll try and sell you either Repti carpet or AstroTurf or tiles, all those kind of artificial substrates. I can see the merit of the argument where using tiles and slate could be useful. They transfer heat very well, so that's good for basking, and they're easy to clean. However, it's really not all that natural, in my opinion. And with me loving to set up naturalistic setup, it's just not practical for me. For those of you that want to use those, don't use pure cocoa peat. Don't use calci sand especially. I would say use coconut coir over calcium sand. In my experience, I've been using the Arcadia Earth Mix Arid for a couple months now, and there's been no ill effects. There's a ton of micronutrients built in, so if he gets a piece of cricket with a little bit of dust stuck to it, it's really not going to impact him at all. And if anything, it's going to add to the nutrients of the prey item that he's eating. I would strongly recommend using the Arcadia Earth Mix Arid. It has been very good for me, and I know there are several other YouTubers that use it as well. Leopard Gecko Talks is one of them. Rebecca, she uses it. So if you don't trust me, go over to her channel, check it out, and let me know what you think. Now, housing leopard geckos is quite easy. One full-grown adult will be okay in about a 10-gallon tank. That seems a little bit small to me. The tank that I have for Striker is actually 30 inches long, 18 inches front to back, and 18 inches tall, so it ends up being about 30 gallons. But if you're going to be setting up like a breeding setup or a super simplistic setup that I wouldn't personally like. Really, all you're going to need is one hot hide, so that's a hide over the hot spot, one cool hide, so that's a hide over the cool side, and a water bowl. Now, as you can see with my naturalistic setup, that is generally what is met. There is a hot hide, there is a cool hide, and there's space in the middle for him to roam around. But you can tell that it's filled with a bunch of succulents. There is rock ledges, there's cholla wood, which is a dead cactus. There's a ton of stuff for him to interact with, to explore, to climb on, and to enrich his general life. That's something that he didn't have for 10 plus years of me having him and me moving him into this naturalistic environment. I've really been able to see how much I was, I'm not going to say harming him, but kind of holding him back from showing his more wild tendencies. The last point that I'm going to touch on this video is leopard geckos as pets. For me, leopard geckos are one of the best starter lizards out there. Due to their low price, if you want to, you can also spend a fortune on them if that's what you fancy. But their low price and relatively low maintenance costs are something that is super beneficial to many new reptile owners. Their general handleability and sociality is quite high. As little babies, they can be pretty skittish, but almost every leopard gecko that I've ever come in contact with as a subadult or adult is very chill, walks relatively slowly and cautiously rather than running and jumping and freaking out every time you go to touch it. So would I recommend them as a general pet? I would say yes. If you're getting your first reptile and you don't know what to get, I would strongly consider leopard geckos. And that wraps up the video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said in the beginning of this video, for those of you that made it to the end and kind of saw all the little nuances of the video, I would love to hear what you think I should keep in here, or what you think I should remove, and also what you think I should put in the videos. I want to improve these over time, and obviously 4 Saturdays are not going to be enough to cover all my animals, and then maybe some of my friends as well. So if you have any constructive criticism, please put it in the comment section. I look forward to reading it and replying to you guys. I really value your opinion, and I think it can help benefit my videos. That brings us to the conclusion of this video, so if you guys liked it, make sure you smash that like button. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comment section down below. I reply to pretty much every single comment. You know, if you want to start up a conversation, definitely do so. Make sure to follow me on my social media, which can be found down below. If you want to support me, make sure you click that subscribe button. That way my videos will show up in your subscription box for you guys to check out. And if you want to give me that little extra bit of support, smash that notification bell. That way you'll be sent an email every time I post a video or go live. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you tomorrow.